Hello, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'll just give everyone a second to pop in. And if you want to let us know where you're joining from in the chat, love to hear.
I would love to know if I have any friends or Texans on here.
Yeah.
Ooh,
We've got Emily from Seattle, Asheville, North
Asheville.
Carolina.
I was just there not that long ago.
Amanda's joining from Texas.
Longview, Washington. Well, these are all great places.
Wanda, fellow Canadian.
Greensboro.
We're here in Ottawa.
London.
Wow.
Oh, this is so cool. Texas Hill Country. That's where I go this afternoon. I'm headed to Wimberley. Joshua Tree. Oh, Omaha, Nebraska. I used to live there. Hi, Carol. Johns Creek, Georgia, Austin. Oh, this is so cool. San Diego, Cottage Grove, Baltimore, Montclair, High Point, Jane Dagny.
Hi, Jane.
Oh, this is so fun. Washington, D.C., Albany, Charlotte. I'll be there in January. Alta Loma. Hi, Chandra. Yes, I used to live in Omaha. I loved it there. I worked for Designer's Touch and Fluff Your Stuff. Toronto, Ontario, Cantwell. That makes sense.
Some fellow Canadians.
Oh,
this is awesome.
yeah.
All right.
I'm honored.
Looks like we've got a good group of people on here today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And thank you so much, Jessica, for coming on and presenting this hot topic to us today. I'm so excited to have you. I'm Rebecca. I'm the Director of Marketing at Mydoma. So I'll kind of lead the way here. And let me just share my screen.
How cute is
Okay,
Rebecca?
So today, Jessica is going to be presenting secrets to vacation rental design success. And Jessica, can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So Jessica is the owner and principal designer of JDuce Designs and co-founder of Vacation Rental Designers. So we're very excited to have her today. So I'll just go through a brief agenda for the presentation. So we'll do an introduction. Jessica is going to walk us through her personal journey to vacation rental design. And then she's going to touch on some of her core principles of her business and then talk strategy and give you some really great management tips. If this is a vertical that you're interested in getting into, then she'll talk a little bit about profits and relationships, and she's got some really great secrets for everyone. So, and then we'll kind of touch on her community, her amazing community at the end. And then we'll have time for a Q&A session as well. So if you do have any questions, please pop them in the Q&A box and we will try to get to them all. So Jessica is the owner of JDuce Designs, and she specializes in vacation rental design, a niche that she embraced after a very successful VRBO project back in 2015. So this led her to establish Vacation Rental Designers, and then later the Vacation Rental Designers Collective, focusing on mentoring designers in this field. And her expertise in transforming vacation spaces into profitable and inviting rentals has positioned her as a very notable figure in the design community. So we're very excited for this. So I'll let you take it away, Jessica.
Thank you. I was answering a question. Hi back to Allison, and yes, it'll be recorded. Okay, well, I apologize to anybody that's already heard my story about Big Blue, but I stumbled into this category, this niche. It used to be called like this, cute little side hustle thing, but this is the fastest growing design category right now. So we are really becoming a big part of the design community. And I stumbled into this when I was actually asked to help select flooring for a vacation rental on the Oregon coast. I was living in Denver, at a home I've never been to, and I really didn't know what a VRBO or Airbnb was. and it was about 10,000 square feet. So the flooring was a big decision. And the people that had built this home, well, with VRBOs and Airbnbs, they typically sell fully furnished. And this is back in the day where basically everything ugly or from your basement or anything grandma rejected, that's what you put in your vacation rental and it would rent and nobody cared. And this rental on the coast was literally, I think I always mess it up, but it's like 11 steps to the stand. It's beautiful. That's what this picture is. And the picture before that was the house. And it looked like a sad country Western Tuscan house on the beach, like tired leather furniture, oil Tuscan horse pillows, really weird vibe. And they had slate floors. And the contractor for the flooring is there and the property manager there. And this is a home that had rented all the time. It was a very successful rental property. And I went with my gut and said, I don't think the floor is your biggest problem. I think it's the furnishings. And the owner took a leap of faith and hired me. And I had no idea what I was doing. And the property manager told them, this is a big mistake. We already are making lots of money. We rent every night we want to. Don't hire her. And they hired me. And the first thing I did was sign up for BDNY, if anybody knows what that is. And I flew there so excited and said, I want to be like a hotel and put lamps on the wall that turn off at the bed. And they're like, that's so cute. You need to order 300. We work with the Marriott. So I share this part of the story because that's how much the industry has changed to today. And now they are interested in what we're specifying. But to go back to the very first project, I had to learn a lot of things the hard way. I worked with housekeeping. I spent a day with housekeeping and doing house flips. I will tell you what BDNY is. And learned that I don't ever want to do housekeeping. They have a really hard job. And we transformed the home. The owners have ended up, I think we're at quadruple now for their rent. And the property manager ended up seeing the change in the property, how quickly it rented at so much more money. And he ended up hiring me to do 7 more homes in his portfolio. And I work with him today still. And I'm doing now I work with new construction builds for him with it, where they are designed specifically to be vacation rentals. So that's the progression. And I see that somebody answered what the BDNY is. So what my takeaway was from this first project and how it morphed so quickly into 7 more projects just with this one was that we were onto something. And this was a thriving market. And at the time, some people didn't even know what the acronym, including myself, was for VRBO. Airbnb was heard, but not really VRBO. So that's why I ended up forming the Vacation Rental Designers business. And I know we're going to talk more about the Vacation Rental Designer Collective because that actually formed this year because of the summit. So we'll get back to that at the end. But I think right now we're talking about how you can grow into this category of the business. So let's go to the next slide. So the core principles of vacation rental design. Here's where I have a little bit of a pet peeve because I've had people call it Airbnb styling or Airbnb staging or even Resumercial was trying to go off. No, this is completely different from all of those things. And a stager and a stylist is not worried about where you're going to hang your bathrobe or you put your luggage, or when you walk into the front door for a property that's going to have 22 guests, you make sure the entryway feels spacious enough, because what happens is, the whole group comes in typically at one time with all their luggage, and people run off and they want to pick their room and run around and see the property. So the entryway needs to be very spacious for this dump of all of their stuff that they're only going to use for a week. And stagers and stylists don't worry about the fact that, yes, you want a beautifully styled kitchen, but they don't really need tchotchke all over the place, because they're not going to spend the time to put away the spaghetti noodles and the sauce and all the snacks. They're not going to put away everything beautifully like we do on our own home. they're going to use it for a week, and a lot of the things they like to have, in sight, in mind to see. So those are some of the big differences that I have to explain, especially when people that are new to the industry, maybe their first vacation rental, or maybe it's not a very successful rental, and I start breaking down some of the differences. Another example is when we are sourcing for vacation rentals, we want to understand the weight limits of furniture. We don't typically do upholstered headboards because those are going to get dirty as opposed to a wood headboard, like the picture on the screen here. That is a headboard from the Red Egg in High Point, and it is perfect for vacation rentals. It's bamboo and easy to clean and durable. And we like to select wallpaper because it actually does help with the wear and tear of the rentals. So there is a lot of misconceptions on what you can do with vacation rental design. Sorry, I'm not used to just flying by the seat of my pants here and without the moderator telling me what to say. So bear with me here. Let's see.
You're doing great.
Thanks. So selecting materials and furnishings that are visually striking. This bedroom is a great example, actually, because I mentioned the headboard. Bedrooms are key. When people are looking for that rental that they're going to do, what we tell our clients, and as a vacation rental designer, our job is to help the potential guests stop the scroll when they're looking for that rental. And stop the scroll is a visually striking picture or impression that they're making from the listing. So this bedroom is a good example because I think that the wallpaper captures your attention. You have some different layering. We have an Aloka blanket on here that brings a little interest to the eye, but every single thing that you see in that photo has been specifically selected for a vacation rental, because the Aloka blanket, it's actually made up of saris that are between 50 and 100 years old. And you cannot kill that blanket. It is gorgeous and soft and beautiful, and it tells a story that we can have in the guest book, but you can also wash it and not worry about it. All of that bedding is easy wash. Those pillows are easy to take care of. That Jill Seal picture or pillow that you see there has a protective coating on it. I mentioned the headboard. Every single thing there has an intention, and that is what we explain to the people that we work for. We are not selecting what is cheap and interesting to you from Wayfair or other sites. We are intentionally selecting each item so that it will have durability and visual impact. Adaptability to diverse guest experiences and appealing to a broad range of guest tastes and needs. Yeah, this is something to think about. And again, when you're meeting with your owner, your property manager client, we actually do a deep dive before any appointment for a new client, and we look at all the rentals in their area that are at a similar price point. We read all the reviews. We review what's in the area, what is events or attractions in the area, and then we tailor our proposal specifically to that. So, for example, I'm working on a project in Wimberley, and Wimberley, Texas, Hill Country. I know we had a Hill Country person on here, and they do a lot of activities in the summer. They have the river there. They have a really sweet town. But interesting enough, there is a unique solar event and eclipse happening, and we were able to help them tailor some marketing specifically to booking their property during this solar event, because where their property is will be perfectly in view of this eclipse happening. And so we kind of mixed up their marketing a little bit and sent that out. And we actually have just started work on a specific platform that will be painted, yes, to the solar event. You know what I'm talking about, Linda. And we are having it painted with stars and moons and images like that, and going to market that. And we also learned that pickleball was a big draw. So they're adding a pickleball thing or a pickleball court. But also, in areas that you don't have those specific events, you just look for what's important in that area. What could possibly be a draw? If they don't have any events, Maybe it's just the terrain. Maybe you need to capitalize on the vintage story of the community, or it's just a serene environment, but you're going to do your homework. This is so much more than decorating and designing. This is you looking at every project for the owner's return on investment, ROI. So you're kind of like a consultant and designer. But why do I love this category so much? Because you can be creative and you don't typically have to worry about grandma's purple chair that they want to, incorporate. You are getting to stretch your design legs and guide them on what will be a financial freedom potentially for them. I mean, how cool is that? So, hi, Sharon Hawking. Yes, hi. Efficient and scalable design solutions, developing scalable solutions that can be easily replicated across different properties. Okay, so what does that mean? Why am I slow on this one? Okay, scalable solutions that can be replicated. I think what you're trying to say here, and this is something that I use my DOMA for, is we do kind of a generalized good, better, best look. And we have mood boards, and we can help clients. Like, not every one of your clients has a big budget. A lot of them don't, especially the new ones. They're scared. So we start them off slow and we say, okay, here is where you should spend the money. Here are the key places that you have to put the money. And then we are going to kind of go on the cheap, cheat a little bit, maybe wait on a few things, but at least get some good photographs. And then as you start developing your rental income, here's what we're going to add in. And we give them a plan. So every person I work with, it's not just, okay, yes, we're going to design this room for you. Good, off and running, success for you. No matter what size project it is, I give them a plan that's long-term that they have to use me to get to. So I give them a look. We work out what they're going to buy from me now to get as close to that look as we can. And then I tell them when they're ready, I'll get you the rest. And they keep me up to date on how their progress is going. But I try to create a relationship where they're dependent on me for the scalable solutions for their property. I hope that's a good answer. Let's go to the next slide. So my business strategy, other than, let's see, flying by the seat of my pants, operational philosophy, and my objective decision. Rebecca, you made hard ones. Okay.
This point, I think you already kind of touched on, but it's about not having to include grandma's purple chair, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, you get to inject your creativity a lot more.
Well, and I really want to talk about the ROI for the client and what is going to make you a better designer in the vacation rental design culture as opposed to others. And we talk about this a lot in the Vacation Rental Designer Collective. This is why we created the collective, because you have a unique set of skills that once they're refined and you have the education behind this, you are untouchable. We actually research the property in a financial way, because unlike any other design category for you, this one, you are designing for their finances. When you do somebody's living room or a residential property, that's great. That's a tough job. I get it. But they are not going to make or break their income based on your decisions. And that's a big responsibility. And you need to understand the lingo and how the business works to really be a good designer in this category. And it's not hard to do. But once you have that, and a lot of these people that are jumping into this category of Airbnb and VRBO, they don't know very much either. They have a great idea. They're excited. They're jumping in. They're watching YouTube videos, and they got a book and they're ready to go. But there's so much more to that. And that's what we teach in the collective also. But I'm sharing this with you because you need to have some type of education in how the business works to really be a great vacation rental designer. This image here on the right is the next property I'm working on. That is actually AI, and that is what I use to pitch my design ideas for the new construction project for the same project manager that I worked with for the first time in Oregon. So AI has been a great tool for me to show an idea of what we want to do for vacation rentals, because as you guys all know, a lot of clients don't have the visual skill, which is why they hire us. And that goes back to your creativity, your innovative design, and adaptable spaces. So this project, we, since it's new construction, we actually are building the home to be a U, and in the center will be a putting green, because the entire home will be designed for golfers in Bandon Hills, Oregon. I think I'm saying that right. And but we have to make all the spaces multi-use and be adaptable to having 5 guests or 15 guests, because there is something to be said for creating a property that can adapt to a different number of people and still feel inviting and cozy. I know I've talked about this before. I apologize if it's redundant, but here's another example of what helps you stand out. When you're looking at listings for how you are going to talk to your prospective client or current client, I go through listings and I point simple things out to me that they don't see. For example, a rental may have 10 people that they can sleep there. We call it heads and beds. And if you're at the summit, you remember that, heads and beds. And so 10 people should have a place to sit, and 10 people should be able to sit and have a meal together. And so many times I see listing photos that says it sleeps 8 or 10, and there's a table for 2, or maybe a table for 4, or there's a love seat and a chair. So they don't see those things, but we do. We have a great on-demand workshop for the background information people need. Okay. So those are the things that help you stand out, and it just doesn't occur to them. But when I say adaptable spaces, make sure that no matter what size the property is, it feels inviting, no matter how many guests are staying there, and that you have made sure to have a seat for everybody. Client replenishment strategy. So this is something that is really key for me with Mydoma. I have been with Mydoma. Rebecca, actually, Sarah looked it up for me. I think I'm at 6 years with Mydoma. So when I say that I am a fan of Mydoma and use it for my business, that's an honest answer. It's 6 years. Mydoma has helped me create a system that is actually crucial to my short-term rental business. When I first started with Mydoma, I had to write it down. I was 75% residential. I had a little bit of commercial, and then I started dabbling in vacation rental design. And I am now at 60% vacation rental business only, and then 40% residential and consulting. So it's a definite shift. How Mydoma helps me with that? I can structure Mydoma the way I need to use it for a project, because I look at every project by the space or the room, and I create files, mood boards, and sections in my Mydoma platform so that I can look at it that way. That's the way it works. My brain works. And for vacation rentals, I know we do that for residential, but this is completely different, because a residential client isn't calling me and saying, property 1, the seashell room needs a lamp. It got broken yesterday. Can you drop ship that? That doesn't happen in residential, but vacation rental, it does. And the property manager or the owners love the fact that they can quickly send me a text or an email, and I know exactly what I need to do. And I can go into Mydoma and know exactly where to go and click a button, and I'm drop shipping them that lamp. It is a very easy process. I think we're to the next slide. I know we'll have Q&A. Okay. So, that's a home in Denver that we did. So we are going to talk, is this where you go into the slides for how I use it, Rebecca?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Do you have the next slide?
Yep.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I've used this one as example, and I probably should have removed the address. So please, nobody go there. Well, blindly. What AI did I use? I know we're going to do Q&A at the end, but I use Midjourney. Okay, so the first thing I do is I'm using probably about 35 to 40% of Mydoma's amazing capabilities. And I will be completely honest and disclose that when they did the switch to this new platform, I pouted for like 3 months. and I had to have some hand holding, and now I'm completely on board and I love it. So if any of you have felt that, for long-term users, I promise once we adjust to the switch, it is awesome. So the first thing I do is invite them into my Doma, welcome them as this is their portal. And I really pre-sell it. I'm explaining to them like, this is how we're going to keep track of your project. This is how you'll be able to access things at any time that you need. And this is how I outline how they're able to access their project without contacting me all the time, because you can control what they see. So I even use a joke that, hey, if you wake up at 1 a.m. and you can't remember what, this was on your mood board, you can access it, no problem at all. And we kind of walk them through it very briefly. Once they have their invitation, they log on. They love seeing their picture of their property, and they can see like what products we've talked about, the mood boards and everything. But I really do think that the client, if you really pre-sell it, they get excited that they have their own portal, and they really think it's their own portal. So I think that's kind of great. Let's go to the next slide. So this, no judges, okay? Vacation rental design, everybody's like, oh, you can be completely creative and do whatever you want. And I say a lot of that, but it's not 100% because I think this house is going to look like a taxidermy showroom. But that's what they love. So this is one of the bedrooms that I have to do some things to. So I'm really exposing what I do. And this is how I got them to warm up to some changes I wanted to do in the room. And what I do is create a mood board and kind of talk about things that we'll keep and things that we can add. And then once they get excited, you haven't seen my other boards for the same room, then we start layering. I'm like, I'm so glad that you like all of that. We need this rug to pull it together. We need these window treatments. What about this paint color? So I do a layer. I don't hit them all at once. I layer it on once I get them excited. And they want the whole themey Colorado thing. And I know there's always comments about how, themey, they love it. There is a cowboy lamp in that picture, and they think it is the coolest thing in the world. But next to the bed, there is a gun lamp, and I got them to get rid of that. So you got to just take your victories. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so this is really a great example of how well my Doma works with the way I do business. Dixie actually worked with me to get me out of my pouting and taught me about tags. And for you existing users, tags, I don't know if you're using them, start using them. And new members or prospective members, you're going to want to learn about tags. So this is a screenshot of some products that I have sourced for this project. And you can do it, you can look at it as like a table view or a grid view. I like the grid view. And it's a quick snapshot. There's a clipper tool. It's so easy. I can even clip from my phone. I follow a lot of different newsletters and I can clip product, but I can literally clip it, say what the price is. Yep, Dusty, thank you. Get an image of the product. That same image will go on your invoice, goes in your mood board. You can do links. Like there's so much to it. But I'm a visual and I need to see what I've been sourcing. And so you're going to clip all these products, you're going to have them in here, and then you're going to do tags. And my tags, this screenshot, I probably should have done a different one because I've kind of gone tag loco. Like I have leather, custom upholstery, bar stools. Now I'm starting to break it down into rooms. My favorite feature, because this is a business, is that I like tabs that I can do with ordered, received, pending, back ordered. And there is a search feature, and you can go in and quickly just go on there and look like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure I'm waiting for something. And yes, I'm sure you've organized people have checklists for all of this stuff, but sometimes I just want an instant answer. Excuse me, and I can quickly research my tags and it will tell me instantly what I'm waiting for, what's already ordered, what's received. And then you can see on the right, it tells me if I've invoiced it or not. This is awesome. And I also use these tags. I mentioned to you that you can source by room and the property manager can call you up and say you need the lamp for the seashell room. This is another way I actually label in the rooms. This project isn't done, so I haven't labeled every room yet. But eventually each one of these projects will have its own tag for the room. And so if I don't want to go to the file for the room or the mood board for the room, I can search the tag seashell room. It'll immediately bring up what I have in that room, and I can do my link. I can do a quick link and drop ship it right from there. So yes, thank you. This is an example of how I organize the information I'm getting in from the client. Everybody does it differently. That's got to work with how your brain works. This is how I do it. And I am doing more than one project for them, but we are keeping it all under the tax ID of this one project. So that's why you see Houston versus the other rooms. And each one of these folders, if you were to open them up, is what I need in that category. Here's one of my tips that I do. I don't know if other designers do, but I like to keep all of the invoices of whatever I purchased for the project in one folder, and that's what designer only is. And only I have access to that, or my team. And that is where I keep everything I've purchased for the property. We used to do a big spreadsheet, and it was awesome and amazing, and it was way too time consuming. And we found that it is a lot more efficient for us to just, after we purchase something, we put it in the designer only file, it's labeled, and it is much faster for us to find. I think that's it for that slide. This is a house in Wimberley, Texas. Okay, project closeout and long-term relationships. That is a big part. And again, if anybody knows me, they know I really speak from the heart, and I am completely transparent and honest about what I think. And I think that my DOMA is a crucial part of my long-term relationships with my clients, because they are able to text me, call me, email me, and say, remember that blah, blah thing that we talked about, but we weren't quite ready? Or, hey, you know, the little green vase in the blue room at this place, we need one of those. And they're amazed at how quickly I can access that information and get it taken care of. And they love the fact that they can log in. I actually keep my clients active, because on my DOMA, you can control what they're going to see. And even though a project may be closed out, I let them still have access, and I can see when they access my DOMA. And I have seen clients that I've worked with years ago will log on and will be looking for something. And I send them a message. Hey, I see that you were looking for something. Can we help you with anything? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, they have paid me for this information. I can control what they see. And 9 times out of 10, that little touchback with them generates more business. I can also send updates through my DOMA, like, it's been 3 years since we did this room. How's it going? I've already done my homework. I've already looked at their listing, but I send that out to them and remind them we're here for a refresh. Those are all things that I am able to do through my DOMA, and kind of make me look like I know what I'm doing, to them at least. It helps me be efficient, but they really just love knowing and feeling that I care about the success of their property. Re-engagement, easily re-engage with previous clients. Like I just said, I can see when they log on. There is a calendar option. And for all of you, I mean, I need to work harder on using all the elements in my DOMA. I know that there is a calendar option and make sure we schedule when we're going to touch them again option. That's kind of on our schedule to do. We actually plug it into our Google calendars. But you can do that for my DOMA. So you just have to figure out how it adapts for you. But we tell all of our clients that they are going to need a refresh every 2 to 5 years, which number 3, the 3-year mark, is really the big ticket item. We remind them, okay, we've sourced all these items with these weight limitations or not limitations, or this bedding, blah, blah, blah. And this is the lifespan that you can expect with the amount of guests that you're going to have. We reach out to them every year about new linens. We always are trying to remind them to replenish their bedding and towels and black washcloths and anything we can do, pillow covers. And we're always keeping them engaged. And we can even screenshot a mood board with the date and say, hey, it's been this long since we did this. here's what you should be needing by this time. You should have housekeeping, do an inventory check. So hopefully that helps. Oh my gosh, we're already to the end. It's amazing. Okay, I want to touch a little bit about the Vacation Rental Design Summit and the Vacation Rental Designer Collective. And I'm guessing, I can't see the messages right now, but I know there's people here that was at the summit. And we are working on the second summit right now, which I'm over the moon about. And it will be at Spring High Point Market. I know Jane Dagny's on here. Summit registration starts January 9th, and there'll be an early bird price, just like last time. And then the price will go up. I think early bird runs for 1 month. But if you are looking for your community and how to up-level your business, you're going to want to go to the summit. Our slogan this year is, oh, Christy, I'm glad you're coming. Our slogan this year is ordinary is not profitable. And Erica, on our team, she's featured in this photo here on the right, she came up with that, and it's brilliant because it's true. And what I didn't share earlier is that, and I hope I'm not over time, there's actually been research into the success of design in vacation rentals, which is a big deal. And there's a company called AirDNA, and they actually research the full climate of vacation rental business internationally. And they talk about what regions are profitable, what's in decline, what's succeeding. The minutia of their information is kind of amazing, or the detail of their information is amazing. And most property management companies use them. Airbnb itself uses AirDNA for statistics. And AirDNA this year came out with the information that, yes, that is what it is, AirDNA. They came out with their research that was done, I believe, over a year to prove that a elevated design or luxury design, luxury is a tough word, but elevated, conscientious, curated design in a vacation rental literally produces more, is more profitable than other vacation rentals. And there was all kinds of information about it, but it was a game changer. And we have really seen a rise in owners and property managers saying, okay, we need to up level. How do we do this? Give us a long-term plan to do this. So the time is right for you to really jump into this. And you don't have to think of yourself as trying to source stuff through Amazon and Wayfair. They are not your friends. That's a whole nother webinar I think we should do. There are so many other buying platforms that you can use that will love on you and help you with your business than Wayfair. So this and so much more about elevated design and ordinary is not profitable. That is what we're going to do in the Vacation Rental Design Summit. And I want to we're sharing this with you today because we're doing it differently than last year. And there's only going to be 150 seats for designers. So when that registration opens on January 9th, I would highly recommend for you to do it. We already have sponsors. It's going to be awesome. And then I want to tell you about the Vacation Rental Designer Collective. And I don't mean this to be this big pitch right now, but I'm just sharing with you that if you're really interested in being a part of this community of vacation rental designers, who I find are a blast, we formed the collective because I felt that the industry wasn't really recognizing the fastest growing design category of vacation rental design. And I know that there's power in numbers. And I know what it's like personally to go to markets and High Point and Dallas and KBIS and be sourcing as a vacation rental designer. We do it differently. And I didn't have my community. I was looking for my tribe. And so that's why we formed the Vacation Rental Designers Collective, because we saw the need for it at the summit. And the long-term goal of it is not only are we there to support you and help you grow your business and teach tips and tricks, like I didn't really talk about the profitability machine that we teach in the collective, but we also have brand sponsors that offer special incentives and discounts only for our members, like my Doma, if you're in the collective, because they all want to support us growing this community. And it's just very exciting. Like if you're a member of the Vacation Rental Designer Collective, you get a discount on your MyDoma membership. Even if you're an existing member of MyDoma, if you join us, they retro, however it works for your current membership, they help you out with whatever the discount is that they're offering with our members. We have discounts with Host GPO and All Mine. These are my sourcing and source through MyDoma. These are who I'm using to source, not Wayfair, not Amazon. And they take care of every problem for me. And we use the textiles that other hotels use that we get an amazing price on. And I could go on and on. And honest to God, the whole reason that we created it is so that you'd have a tribe and be profitable and successful. So that's my spiel. But I think we're at Q&A because I'm here to support.
All right, let's jump into some questions. So we've got a question from Kelly. She says, can you share what elements to invest in and where we can go a little less expensive?
Sure. Mattresses, big deal. If you are going to worry about bad reviews, you can't have a bad sleeping situation. So you got to invest in good beds and bed linens. This is what we are telling owners. You want to have comfortable seating. You will see a lot of people, and I know all of us designers, we can spot a room and know exactly where they source things. And you can tell when they don't care about comfortable seating. When we really have to get down to the nitty gritty for dollars and you have to fill a house, again, beds, top priority. But the things that I tell them to invest in are the things that we're typically never going to change. So really good lighting and art. We're not, when we do a refresh, we're not changing out all the art or the light fixtures. So we can get more bang for our buck, or excuse me, we can spend a little bit more on those because that investment's not going to change. If it's going to be in an area where you know you're going to have a lot of kids, if it's pet friendly, etc. And actually the image that you see here, this is a rental in Asheville, North Carolina. And it's pet friendly and there's a lot of trails, and we knew it was going to have a lot of wear and tear. So that sofa, we change it out every other year. So it's as comfortable as we can get it for the price point, knowing that we're going to have to change it. But we do try to encourage them to spend the money on the items that we know we're not going to change, and then go from there.
Awesome. Thank you. That's great. Especially the point about the beds. That's very important. Do you buy hotel grade linens?
Yes.
I think you kind of touched on that. Yeah.
Yes. At the collective, we actually have a special program discount with several linen companies, including Standard Textiles, who supplies for the Marriott, some Hiltons, etc.
That's lovely. Okay. Samantha asks, you may touch on this, but to find initial rental design clients, do you simply browse existing listings on websites such as VRBO and just cold call them? I'm currently only doing local residential design, but want to branch out to vacation rentals. Any tips for making that leap would be appreciated.
I don't think the platform works for you to cold call through Airbnb, VRBO. I think you'd have to suggest that you were going to rent there to get to the owner. So I don't know if that would be my approach. And no, I don't do that. If you want to get involved, then you need to target local realtors that are listing themselves as vacation rental specific. And that's an easy search. You can go online to the real estate association in your community, and there is a special certification that they can do, and they are specific to help people find vacation rentals. That's an easy button. You can look up property management companies in your area and call them and tell them that you have this skill, and stay. At first, if they're not familiar with the power of a designer and a vacation rental, then you need to just keep touching them and working on it. And this will sound really crazy. Well, actually, I also want to say there are typically owner groups that you can target. And I joined the Northwest Property Manager Association when I started working in Oregon, and went to their conference and met owners and property managers just in that area. Look for those. But you can find somebody that has a vacation rental And this, not everybody's going to agree with this, but offer to stage one room with your skill set and for photos and build your business from there. I used to do that with residential, and I don't think that's bad if it gets your foot in the door.
Amazing. That's a really good tip with the real estate. You said the real estate associations or
Yeah. And
the
you can
directory.
even just Google real estate agents in my area for vacation rentals and target
Yeah.
them.
Awesome. Do you install every property yourself, or do you create a plan and let the host install the plan?
Both of those options happen. It just depends on their budget and timing. So, and there's Lori Shaw is a designer in our collective, and a lot of her business is all e-design. She's really good at it. And she doesn't ever go to the projects. So yeah, that's very doable.
Awesome. Ashley asks, how do you bill for continued / on-call work, like when you replace a lamp?
It depends on if they have me on retainer or not. So I'm either billing them for my time or I'm on a retainer.
Awesome. Someone asks, what is the difference between VRBO and hospitality design?
Well, VRBO stands for Vacation Rental by Owner, and it's a platform that is the same as like Airbnb. The difference between Airbnb and VRBO is that if you go through VRBO to book a place, it is one existing place, like a house or a unit or an apartment. If you book something through Airbnb, you could be booking a sofa, a chair, a room, a deck, a tent. It's a more broad list of things that you could rent. Your question was, what's the difference between VRBO and vacation rental design? Is that what the question was?
VRBO and hospitality design. So I guess
Maybe you mean like, what's the difference between vacation rental design and hospitality design? The old school way of looking at that is that hospitality design would be more of like your hotel or B&B experience. And they don't typically house you in a hotel room, motel room, bed and breakfast for a week or 2 weeks. So vacation rental, we're looking at it as like being able to feel like you could live there, but you're only there for a week. So we care about where you're going to hang your bathrobe, and we care about how you're going to use the kitchen, and that every amenity has been thought of for you down to the grapefruit spoon or whatever is important at that house. And those types of details aren't as important in hospitality design because they don't have to worry about the longevity of your stay as much.
Perfect. I think that answers that. Megan asks, when shipping items, do you always use a receiver if you're not local and the owner is not at their rental? Do you have other options?
I am anti-receiver. I feel like they bleed us dry. Had a lot of bad experiences with receivers. A receiver is my last choice. So I try to source through companies that will direct ship, drop ship. And that's a big part of the collective. The brands that sponsor us, they all can facilitate drop ship if needed. So that's a big deal for vacation rental design, especially when you have properties everywhere. If I am not able to drop ship, I look for loopholes, like if the actual owner will receive the goods on their own, like maybe they have their own storage unit, or I rent a storage unit and have the items delivered there. And then I coordinate a delivery person with a truck myself and have it delivered to the goods or to the property. I do try to avoid receivers as much as I can.
That's good to know. That's a good tip with the storage unit. Let's see, we've got lots of questions, Jessica. How many times?
Bailey, I have a question here from Bailey that I just
go ahead.
I always get asked this question, then who checks for damages? And I'm going to be really honest. The amount of money that I save having the product delivered to the storage unit or the owner or drop shipped far outweighs the risk and what I've had to deal with for damages that goes to a receiver. I'm paying for that item to get to the receiver. They check it, they store it, and then they are going to deliver it and charging me for every second of that. And a lot of times they don't miss the damage, or they don't catch the damage that we see. like the legs are wrong. These are all true stories. One was a leather chair shipped to me from Universal that literally had the forklift marks through the chair and through the box and was checked off as
Oh
just
my gosh.
perfect, good to go in Denver and delivered that way. I understand there's a time limit on damages. This is just my own personal business, the way I do it, but I save so much more money by avoiding receivers and dealing with the little bit of damages than using a receiver.
Awesome. That's really good insight. How many times do you visit the VRBO or Airbnb for a project if you're furnishing the entire home?
It just depends. I tell them that if I'm going to be installing, I have to do a site visit at the beginning and get all my measurements and get the feel and vibe. And then usually, unless there's construction involved, I don't have to be there again till the end.
Okay. How do you price each property for design services, by room or a discount for the whole house?
Well, every project's different. And those are the types of things I actually removed that off of here because there is so much detail that goes into how we price a project and how we scale our profitability, that we teach that in our collective. So I hope you know I'm not intentionally trying to avoid your question, but it's more complicated than what we have here today. So
Yeah, for sure.
I
There's a lot
encourage
that
you
goes
to
into
join
it.
the collective, but there is just so many different ways you can scale how you want to make your project profitable and long term. And I can tell you just this little bit, because this is common knowledge. Yes, you're going to get in there and price your rooms and retainers, and there's all these different things you can do. And don't forget, there's also the affiliate links that you can do for the projects that or product that you've sourced, and you can teach your owners about how you can make money with them long term on the things that you've sourced, and getting guests excited about what's in the room, like the Aloka blankets that I showed in the earlier slides. You can resell those. People love them. Oh, and no, Christine, your comment was not inappropriate in any way. So no, all good. It's just
Right,
complicated.
we keep getting questions. Curious if there are any amenities you tell your clients to avoid. That's interesting.
Well, if anybody was at the summit, I told a hot tub story, which I won't go into details here because you'll have to mute me. But there are amenities that you have to take into consideration because people are going on vacation and, they're there to relax and have a good time. And so let's just say they want a hot tub, and you need to think about where the hot tub is in relation to what's around them. And does this hot tub need privacy? Do you need to worry about sound so that you don't bother the other residences in the area? So when we talk about different ways we encourage or discourage things, we're guiding them on how we are being conscious of our surroundings with their selections. We do hate micro suede. This is unrelated to the hot tub, but micro suede, which I think as designers in general, we hate that. But again, life lessons, I can tell you that Cheese Whiz does not come off of micro suede. And Cheetos are the death of many items. Multiple housekeepers have a whole ban on Cheetos, and some people even put it in their listings. But no, we just basically guide them on different finishes. Of course, we love performance fabric. I talked about how I try to stay away from upholstered headboards. We don't encourage overly technical things, even down to like motorized shades or a really fancy range or sound system that as a residential person, we are willing to take the time to understand how to use it. But a guest that's only there for a few days, they don't want it. They want it on and off and a volume, or they want a very simple appliance that they can use and cook spaghetti. So those are the ways we guide them.
That's great. Okay, I think that's it for questions.
I hope this was helpful.
I really think it was. Those are very insightful questions, and you gave a lot of really good tips just now. So everyone is saying thank you in the chat.
Oh, good. I loved this. Thank you. I wish I could see what everybody's saying because I think it's awesome. Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. This was a treat to have you on. And I'll just do a quick little plug of Mydoma. So if you want to try out any of the features that Jessica just outlined for you, feel free to scan this coupon code, and then I'll leave this up for a few seconds, and then I'll also go back and give you the coupon, or I'll give you the code for the collective as well. So I'll just let everyone scan this. If not, the links will also be in the email that I'll send out right away.
Oh, did I mention that the collective is running a promo?
I don't think you did. So let's go back and I'll let you plug that.
I totally forgot. I just got a message. Sharon Hawking, I'm so happy to see that message. You reminded me. We are doing our first ever promo where existing members and new members get $150 off their annual membership. And it runs to December 30th, I believe. And it's a 1-year membership, and there are a ton of perks. And I can tell you that with all of our brand sponsors and utilizing the discounts, you pay for your membership. It's a no-brainer. So I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, and as at Mydoma, we're big supporters of the collective, so we definitely recommend you take a look at that.
We love.
So with that, thank you. So with that, we'll say goodbye for the afternoon. Thank you so much, Jessica. This was invaluable, and I think people really, really enjoyed the content. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you all who joined. I appreciate you.
All right. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Bye.